Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I'm on Scientific Truths. We are the People's Podcast, and I have Henry, Gilly with the Echo, and DDH. Peace and love, everyone.
Peace and love.
Gilly, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Peace and love, babe. Peace and love.
Oh.
So I want to give a huge shout out right now to 88.1. 88.1 is a Detroit radio station. Tune into them on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. They do a mental health segment. One of these days we'll be on it. Again, that's 88.1, a mental health segment. Anyhow, so I really want to talk about today's episode, Love is a Drug. I have some personal reasons why I want to talk about it. I've been accused lately of doing and partaking in extracurricular activity, drug related. I'm just sharing this to my page real quick. And the funny thing is, though, to be honest with you, I don't do drugs at all. I haven't smoked even herb in about a month now. I'm a herbalist. I've been a nurse. I've been a pharmacy tech. I've been a CNA. I've been direct care worker. I have took care of people with dementia and Alzheimer's, and I have a certification in it. I speak on mental health. I speak on different perspective in life. I'd be a hypocrite if I did any form of drug. I love myself too much. So that's why I want to talk about the episode tonight, Love is a Drug. Because love really is a drug. It really gives off a lot of endorphins like cocaine and stuff. We're going to get into this more. I just find it weird that people that don't know what it's like to be happy start pinpointing and calling names and casting stones to those just because they're happy. All because they're happy. My last episode on Tuesday night, the signal was shitty, and I've been trying for 45 minutes to get the microphone and the sound card to work. Don't have to explain nothing to no one. And it got closer and closer and closer to 8, and I was like, just fuck it. My webcam, my vlogger camera that I use as a webcam froze, so I couldn't use that. I wasn't properly hooked up to the proper internet. I was at a hotspot, so everything was going in and out, and our whole panel wasn't here, so we weren't really prepared. Like, a lot was going on that day. So I was trying to chime in, and I was trying to help Henry pull it together. He's the only one that had good signal. And there's been times where he had such shitty signal and everybody else had good signal. And no one accused him of being on drugs. And now this night, he had the best signal out of everybody. And I got accused of doing drugs. How unprofessional of me to come on live being that inebriated. And it was crazy to me. Crazy to me. I tried shrooms before. I've done shrooms before one time, and that was recently. I'm not really big into putting stuff in my body. I don't eat meat. I watch what I eat. I'm very extremely healthy. That's why I'm so small. I went on a 40-day fast. I've been without eating before on purpose to reset my body, to heal myself. So anything I'm telling you, it's all facts. And whether you believe it or not, I care less, because at the end of the day, how you perceive me is not my problem. To be honest with you, I care less what people think of me. I love me some me, and I'm proud of who I am. And I'm building one hell of a team. So don't cast stones when you have a glass house. You probably go out to clubs and drink. Just saying. I haven't drank in years. So you talk about putting something unhealthy in my body like drugs. I couldn't even imagine what drug I possibly could put in my body. I'm high on life, baby. Natural high. Let's get into love as a drug. Henry, how powerful is love?
Well, love is one of the most, if not the most powerful human emotion, right? It absolutely. See, now I can tank on the podcast. No. Love caused me to do a lot of things. I love a lot of people. I feel a lot of love for things. In my relationship, I'm poly. It's because I don't know. Love gets viewed in a lot of different lights and aspects and stuff. And I guess when I'm in love and happy, people, I've been mistaken for being on drugs too. Kimberly. They say that love, its drug-like effect is a lot like cocaine. And as I said earlier, Rick, a wise man, once said cocaine's hell of a drug. And I feel that, but it's something that we always work on comprehending and understanding as humans. And I think this podcast is going to delve into that. And I agree with you, Kimberly. And I want to see how that goes, because we're here, baby. That's it. We're going to talk about it. I love it.
Gilly, do you know what the side effects of drugs are compared to love? Do you know the difference between the two?
Well, I've interestingly enough been accused of being on drugs or having a substance use problem this week too, and it's not fun, and not because I villainize or anybody who has substance use issues, but anyway, it's not fun, and and it's not when somebody says things that aren't true. So I feel you on that. As far as love being a drug, what did you ask exactly again? Sorry.
Do you know the difference between love and drugs?
Do I know the difference between love and drugs? I think it's funny that if love is a drug, then it's certainly the least harmful. I mean, I suppose, like, I can see what Henry was saying about how sometimes you do things for love or in love that can potentially maybe harm yourself.
Did you know that the brain releases several chemicals when you experience love?
Yes,
including
I do know that. I do
dopamine,
know that, but
serotonin, and oxytocin.
Right, but all of those things are good for us, and they're necessary. Like oxytocin, it's a bonding hormone. And that's why women release it when they nurse, is because, babies and their mamas release it when they nurse, because it bonds. Serotonin, if you've ever struggled with low serotonin, then that causes major depression. So if love is a drug, healthy love is the best kind of drug you can do. And I've seen, people struggle with substance, with other drugs and dependencies, and it's a lot different. It interferes with their lives and interferes with all their relationships and interferes with their health in multiple ways, not just, their mental health. It interferes with their physical health. So there's major differences between it. And I guess I don't quite understand what people exactly mean when they say love is a drug, because there are lots of things that release endorphins and oxytocin and serotonin, not just love.
I may have a little to add to that. We get addicted to these things that release these chemicals. You can force start a lot of these chemicals. Even laughing and swearing jovially can, bless you, can
Thank you.
Can release these chemicals. And love is can be dangerous because there's a lot of different forms of it, which we should probably look into. But like everything else, you can release these chemicals with love, and you could even become addicted to being in love. That kind of feeling. You can get addicted to just about anything. It's just
You
wild.
want to know though what's crazy to me is that grief is a byproduct of love. And if grief is a byproduct of love, people are more acceptable to grief. And they're not going to say, oh, he must be on drugs because, he's crying a lot because he just lost somebody. They're going to say, oh, she must be on drugs because she's extremely happy.
Yeah. Well, grief is a byproduct of losing love.
No, it just says a byproduct of love. Because we love so much that we grieve when the person we love is no longer physically with us. But in fact, that they're gone doesn't mean that we must stop loving them or thinking about them.
Right, but it's still a loss of.
It's still a byproduct of love. It's still from a form of love.
Right.
You have to
if you didn't love them.
And also, are we talking about like all forms of love? Because there's lots of different relationships that you have with love, or with people, and with love. There's the love for our children, there's the love for our friends, there's the love for fellow humankind, there's and then there's being in love. Are we talking specifically about in love?
We're talking about the fact that I got married over the week, and that I was extremely happy by it, and it caused me to have an uncontrolled urge of happiness.
Well, I say more power to you, and fuck the haters.
So that was actually got overshadowed in the last episode with everything that happened, is that you had all this good news to put forward into the world, right?
Yeah, I couldn't even share that I got married. I couldn't share that I found that I said yes to someone I'm going to spend the rest of my life with happily. And it's someone who's been by my side for over a year now. And we've done it the right way. We practiced celibacy. We vetted first. We've been through obstacles and trials and tribulations and came out stronger than ever. And I couldn't imagine spending another day with anyone by my side without him. So, yeah, I was high, but on love and life. How dare me come on this podcast doing that? It's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
Beautiful.
Now, do you think that effect could be misconstrued, honestly?
Yeah, because the signal was shitty. I was going in and out, and when it looked like I was about to say things, I looked like I was slurring my words.
Well,
I could pull anything, make anything look really bad if I really wanted to, because that's my perception of it. If I wanted to, the news does it all the time. I can paint you a narrative and make it look really bad.
Oh yeah, I think we pride ourselves in not being the news. I would hope that I can't remember her name. I'm not going to call you, but I hope that they meant well by it.
I could care less at the end of the day, to be honest with you. Yeah. Peace and love to everybody, because I am love and light, and I come from the Most High with pure and genuine intentions. But at the end of the day, fuck you. Respectfully. Unapologetically. From the bottom of my soul. All of you. All of you. Not just your baby toe. Fuck all of you. Because at the end of the day, you could have asked me that quietly, or you could have inboxed me and asked me if I needed help, because maybe I needed help.
Yeah.
We are the people.
That's actually a really good point.
And we care about people. So we're just going to call names and say how unprofessional of you to come on live like this. When I was actually really, really fine. I was really happy. My signal was extremely shitty, and I've been trying for over an hour to get my mic to work and my headphones to work, and I just couldn't. So when all odds were against me, I still was in a great mood. I was in love.
That's what mattered. That
still
was
in love. And I care less about your opinion, to be honest with you, because if you're going to judge somebody like that, you might as well just become a Christian and go and drink the blood of Jesus Christ and just follow along suit with them. And I don't care if I get flagged for that at the end of the day, because when you're going to pass stones and you're going to point something out at somebody and call them out on that, when you could actually see if I needed help. Yeah. Because if I know somebody is in that kind of shape and they really were, maybe it's a cry. We overlook cries for help and start pointing fingers and blaming. How dare you?
We pick and choose what we want to have compassion for and what we want to have judgment for, and that's pretty shitty too.
That's a damn shame. We are the people's If you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, you've never seen me like that, and you never will. So for you to say that I tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, and this is very unprofessional of you, you had no clue what I was doing. There was nothing unprofessional of me. Besides, my equipment wasn't working. The internet was shitty.
To Miss Kimberly's credit, we've been at events before and stuff, and I get to play the devil's advocate sometimes. Be like, hey, you want to hit this J or whatever. Of course, locally sourced tobacco, and it's very rare. I could ever get you to do anything like that, which is good. You've always been a whimsical person who I've met in person sober. I've never seen you drink or do anything like that.
No,
so
I don't drink.
I thought you were high at events. You're like, I didn't even smoke.
I hadn't smoked or anything. Okay, I did make some herb rub and some cannabis rub that I was going to make into a rub more, but I didn't get to finish it. I made some of that, but I didn't even get to use that. I honestly am in love.
Well, that's beautiful, and I don't think topical cannabis is anything bad.
No, not at all. It can't be. It can't go into your bloodstream. Yeah. It can't go into your bloodstream. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But that's what I do. I'm an herbalist. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to eat dandelions out of the fucking ground and hug trees. Put some potatoes in your socks and onions when you don't feel good. That's what I'm going to do. So I'd rather do that.
That's love too.
I'll lick a toad. Yeah. I'll lick a toad over shoving any needle up inside me with any poison that man made. Okay.
That's love too, and you're absolutely right. There's a lot of love. The highest I've ever been in my life is without drugs. Well, that and mushrooms, but I don't really see a problem with mushrooms either if used reasonably.
But yeah, so I appreciate that person tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to the People's Podcast, where your opinion matters, but it is just that, your opinion. And at the end of the day, I value it as much as I value mine. It comes and goes. It's here for a second and then gone afterwards. Just an opinion. Yeah. It holds no weight. My opinion doesn't hold no weight. Unless it becomes yours. But yeah, though, there's all different forms of love. There's all different forms of chemicals it lets off. You get racing hearts. You get sweaty palms, flushing cheeks, feeling of passion and anxiety. Some have proven benefits of having love in their life, including induces stress, better sleep, improved immune health, reduces pain. The dog's wanting to go outside. There's an ultimate source of love. God is the source of true and perfect love. The only He can provide in this meaning. Decide to show love to somebody who needs it today. Planning to do so helps to hold our hearts accountable and encourages us to actually do what God calls us to do. There you go.
I got it. I love it. I got a weird example based on, at least some of that, really, right? You look at your local guy decked out in horns or whatever he's wearing for his sports team, right? At an event in the freezing cold with no shirt on with something crazy letter painted on their chest. And you tell me that that's any other emotion than love. And you see how crazy they get over the sports teams and whatnot. I mean, we don't have to just talk relationships. You can love something like that. Like, there's no other word for it. They love their freaking sports team. Hey, go. So and so's, but I like them. Love will make you nuts.
Child. I looked down at my child, and that's the only person I will take a bullet for. I watch this person nestle off of me, inside of me. I look down at that individual, and that's when I found I had purpose in this world. I no longer was doing it alone, and I was doing it for somebody, and it gave me a purpose. And then undying, unmeasured amount of purpose. And then that individual gave me a legacy. And I'm able to pass that on. I am someone's Jima. I am somebody's wife.
Well, that's so beautiful. Sounds like even the dog in the background is singing a love song.
He just wants to go outside. I bought him a rhino. I bought him an elephant named Rhino. He loves it. Maybe he's on drugs. But no, for real. I'm just kidding, though. Let me put all fun aside. To be honest with you, though, if somebody is on drugs, though, don't call them out on it. Ask them if they need help. Come on now. That's a form of self-harm at its finest. And a lot of people do drugs to escape reality. A lot of people are secretly crying for help. So instead of calling them out on it, ask them if they need help. That'd be the nice thing to do.
I don't think I talked about addiction yet. Or like 20 minutes, or maybe a little bit I added. I don't know if I brought it up, but when I got into the Alcoholics Anonymous, when I actually tried it, the thing that stuck out to me the most was the 12th step, which is helping people, helping others, spreading your message, and trying to just help people get sober, help themselves get sober. And I knew if I wanted to do that, but I knew if I streamlined towards it, that I would probably screw up everything I was trying to do and burn myself and fail myself. And that gave me a lot of purpose, just trying to work towards that. I felt a lot of love towards that, and I still do. And it's a huge part of love that I feel is having that purpose. It's hand in hand with love.
This podcast, I love it. I love doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, and I never miss a day. I've never missed a day. Even on the times when I felt like dog and death, I came on for a couple minutes just to let people know that my life was ending at that present second and that I loved them. Because you guys matter. The people matter. I am very authentic, and I am very committed. I love consistency. I try to stay active on time, all the time, so we can give you a good show, so you can have an outlet, because you're not being judged here.
Well,
I'm being judged. You're not. So come on, join us in conversations. This is where you are welcome. No matter who you are welcome. This is a safe place. Say what's ever on your mind. And if you do need help, we won't judge you. We will here be to help you. We will not judge you.
You can shoot us a DM.
Well, without going too far into it, I was in the hospital this past week. But I will say, even in the hospital, I found people that I could love on and that loved on me back. And because we were all in need of love. And so I think that, people tend to have this idea that love takes all this time and this practice and this work. And really, it's not. Like, if you're a creature of love, it's just there. It's just there. And if that's a drug, then I guess that's my substance use disorder is love, because I genuinely believe without it, it removes a lot of hope from our lives.
I agree.
I think it's really hard to remove love entirely from your life. You will inherently love something, and I wouldn't want to be inside of a brain that didn't experience that.
I love love.
But yeah, no, and I didn't not join because I didn't want to be there. I didn't join because that wasn't an option.
I feel you.
So
I've dipped out. It's been hard. We're a hard ass time. It's been a hard time. Kimberly's made every day.
Oh, go ahead, Henry. I apologize. I was gonna say
I,
everybody's
I
going
was,
through
I was
something.
I was just saying that you've made every day for the last couple of years. My life has gotten either harder or easier in certain ways. It's been easier to get back on and put more time into this thing that I love so much that I've built with you, built together. It's just it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty
well,
awesome.
and I'm just happy to be invited to the party.
Yes.
So don't share
Well,
stars. Don't send stars. That's all that was about. Facebook said, please send us stars and support. I'm telling you, don't send us stars because we can't get them. We have been flagged permanently from receiving stars on Unseen Twisted Truths. That's okay, though. Just let you know. But I
is
want
that
to talk.
new?
No, that's been like that.
Oh, okay.
Not even.
I mean, what a star is. What is that worth? 25 cents or something?
No, a penny. A penny.
Oh. Yeah, I guess 25 cents would be excessive, wouldn't it? I don't know.
It'd be nice if it was 25 cents, but yeah, no, it's a penny a star. So although romantic love and drug addiction are similar in the early stages, they are different in subsequent stages, as the addictive characteristics of love gradually disappear as the romantic relationship progresses. However, the addictive characteristics are generally magnified with repeated use of drug abuse. So don't worry, guys. I'm not going to be high forever. It's going to wear off.
You know what? I hope you are.
It's going to wear off.
I hope you both are.
In summary, while
you be?
I don't know, both love and addiction can revoke strong feelings and behaviors. Love is characterized by emotional connection and mutual support, where addiction is marked by compulsion, dependence, and negative consequences. I'm definitely never negative. If anything, I'm rainbows and butterflies, and my shit smells like it too.
Oh my.
Everything's so beautiful in my world. Everything is so beautiful in my world, even in ugly situations. I'm telling you, if anything bad ever happened to my spawn, I don't care if he became Jeffrey Dahmer. I'd be like, Honor, listen, he's a good boy.
Guilty freaks out.
The doctor said he had a lot of testosterone in his life. He didn't mean it.
Kimberly. So you're saying that you haven't experienced a lot of negative side effects to being in love?
Not at all.
Strange.
I have not. Even the bad things that have been said about me or to me. Even when I was taken down that dirt road recently, and I thought that was it, that my car was getting pulled that night.
Yeah, that's scary.
Through the PTSD, I still did not have a negative reaction or thought or feeling. I was like, man, I really love this person, and they're trying to take me out. Well, they must not know who I am.
Maybe that was tainted love.
No, it was love. It was love. It was love for what I wanted it to be, not for what it really was. It's a different kind of love. It was the ideal of love from years ago, reminiscing, remorsing, wishing for wishing, instead of realizing really what it truly is, which it truly never was. If people
I will
can't see
say
you,
I've never regretted loving someone
me neither.
or allowing someone to love me.
Mm,
There are
facts.
things that I may regret about the relationship. There are things that I may regret about the way that it ended or the reasons that it ended. And there are things that I may regret about choices that I made or they made during during the relationship. But the love, nah, that's untouchable.
Facts. Facts. And I've never really experienced healthy love my whole entire life to say, man, I've been in love this many times. Because I don't think I ever have been. I never experienced as a child to know what it really felt like. So to feel it now, I always said I wanted to be married by 50. I turned 50 and then got married. So I'm pretty close to what I've always wanted. So to feel it now, it's a different feeling. I don't think I would have been able to appreciate it as much as I do now than I would have been as a child. I always thought the grass was greener on the other side. Now, as an adult, I realize the grass is greener everywhere we water it.
Mm-hmm.
Took me time to realize that, though.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we do water it and it still doesn't work. There are relationships that for one reason or another tend to be heavier on one side than the other.
I believe in seasonal love.
Huh?
I believe in seasonal love.
Yeah.
I believe there's a lesson that we had to learn from it, and there's a reason why it happened to us. It wasn't meant to last forever.
Yeah. I know that I've experienced love in in my more recent past, in ways that I never experienced it before. So kind of what you were saying is you weren't sure if you were ever in love before, like I think a lot of people can relate to that. And for me, it's not that I didn't have any love as a child, but I never really witnessed romantic love, with the exception of what I saw on TV or videos or, things or friends' parents maybe. But as far as experiencing it firsthand, witnessing it and knowing what it's supposed to look like, I didn't have really any real life models of a working, loving relationship, as far as romantic love goes. And so, you try to navigate it yourself as you grow up, and it takes time. I think it takes like really being in love to realize, huh, okay, I may have loved that person, but in love is different.
I think that also it stems from self first. I think if you don't properly love yourself, you can't properly love someone else.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because for the longest time I didn't know how to love myself correctly. And I accepted so many things that wasn't love, but I accepted it as if it was love.
So let me play devil's advocate to that for a minute, because what about people who really do love themselves and are shit at loving other people? Like,
I don't think they
um,
really do love themselves. To have an ego and to say you love yourself is different being compassionate and knowing empathy with love and self.
okay. I mean,
Narcissists may love themselves tremendously,
mm-hmm.
but don't realize that they're narcissists.
Right. Right.
I'm
And
sorry.
and sometimes we don't realize it either.
No, that's true too. And that's exactly it too, because they can resemble so many other things. When you don't realize what you are, you can put a lot of faces on and a lot of masks and a lot of hats and call yourself diddly dandy and all this other stuff. Yankee Doodle.
Mm-hmm.
It all works. So if you
Well, and infatuation is still something that all people feel. I mean, all people feel to a varying degree. And
So, oh
that can
shit.
be mistaken for love too. And so whenever you disappoint the narcissist and you're no longer the shiny object in the room, that's when you start to see the effects. And it's complicated. It does skew your uh ability
To see
to
properly.
recognize
Yeah.
when you're receiving love and when you're receiving um and when
Bullshit.
you're just the object of somebody's flattery.
I get that for sure. No, I agree completely. Um, it is
So I
hard.
wanted
And that's where I see that when you don't proper love yourself, you don't know exactly what it looks like. Go ahead,
I
Henry.
got something to add to that 100%, and that is it's a moment of honesty and transparency. Is that love is very hard for me after some things I went through and some of the things I've been through and some of the past relationships, as well as I'm sure it's hard for you know whoever else was involved. Love is hard for me, and being in a relationship right now, although I very much love the person and they love me back, Harry, it is it's still a difficult thing for me to tread mentally. I'm not 100% where I want to be at certain things in my life. And thank goodness I got a partner who understands that because it's hard. It's hard. I'm not 100% fixed. I'm not, I'm still working on things. I'm not perfect. Nobody else is. But I'm trying to be realistic about realizing that and
You know
moving
what
forward
I
with love.
did recently? I learned to love myself correctly within the years of knowing Henry. That's in Henry's agreement with himself that we both equally have learned to love ourselves tremendously, tremendously throughout the years of knowing each other. And I have been able to set healthy boundaries. I've been able to say no. I've been practicing self discipline. I have been allowing things that I normally wouldn't because I don't like a lot of people in my circle and stuff. But I've been allowing people to come in, not denying myself from that. Um, Not listening to other people in their opinions and tell me what I should and shouldn't do. I've been trusting myself,
So
and I've
I've
been.
been Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I apologize.
So I've been accused of not loving myself often. And it bothers me because what people point out as me not loving myself, excuse me, are not necessarily me not loving myself. I'm not a very conventional person. My boundaries look a little bit different than other people because of some of my experiences. For instance, I have very strong boundaries when I feel like I'm being forced into positions that I either may not want or may not be totally ready for. Um, and so I tend to um, procrastinate, or I have other things that tend to make me procrastinate or avoid certain things that people will view as me not loving myself, when in reality that is sort of me you know saying, okay, I'm not comfortable here, I'm going to do this on my time. And I'm not purposely being self-destructive. um Perhaps I'm being pretty reactionary, and that's something that I got to work on. um but that doesn't mean that I don't have love for myself. Another thing is I really do like to I tend to be the protector or the advocate in a relationship. um I tend to like to nurture. I tend to and sometimes I do that to a point where I can reach burnout. um but I'm not doing it because I don't love myself. I'm doing it because I genuinely do like to do those things. And more than I even like to do those things, I hate to see people going through something and feel like they have to go through it alone. And so me being myself can sometimes read as me not loving myself, and it's not the same.
Oh, that's that. I relate to that. I absolutely. Um, it's hard to be alone. And it's hard to be around people all the time. I find,
Mhm.
don't misconstrue what I said with that I don't love myself, because everything I do, and every day that ends, I tell them I love myself. I got a whole new lease on life after the last 7 years. It's been great, but it's where I have to put love and where I have to put time and effort. And there's a few different people I love for various different reasons in my life. And we can only spread ourselves so thin before we get totally burnt out. And it feels bad to get burnt out on something you love, but it can happen. It can happen with people or just things you love to do. It's difficult. I guess that's something I've been working on.
Those that are tuning in, do you see that love is a drug? And have you ever experienced that kind of love? Have you ever experienced so much love that it just gave you this natural high, this utopia feeling? I do strive to be perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care what people think when it comes to how I see things, because at the end of the day, my eyes, my life, my choices. Your eyes, your life, your choices. I'm not telling you how you see things to be wrong. So if I strive to be perfect, and that's perfectly fine because I was perfectly made by a perfectly being just the way I am, that's my opinion, and I can do that. As if you see that you are flawed because you're only human, and you have a right to feel as though you're flawed. That's on you as much as I have a right to feel I'm perfect. Not nor I am right and nor you are right. There's no right or wrong here. Because at the end of the day, when it's your life, your choices, whatever
If you're
you
trying to,
do, if
whose
your
standards
intent
to be perfect?
and your intent is pure and genuine, it doesn't matter what you do or say or anything. It's all about how you conduct yourself to yourself in the society. I'm not
What?
harming nobody by striving to be perfect.
No, but perfection, like, if you're striving to be perfect, I think it's important to not try and be perfect in someone else's eyes, but to be your own version of perfect. Because
And
perfect's going to be
and
whatever's
again,
perfect for
it's
you.
it's still up to me to decide that it's still within me. It's in within
Right.
self. Everything's within self. So what I do to self, how I react to self, how I carry self is still none of nobody else's business. If I am not affecting them in their daily day business, in their everyday routines, I'm not harming them, then what I do should not matter to them.
Why would it?
You tell me. People are different. People like
People worry about things.
controversy. Rita, love you. Thank you for watching. Rita, is love a drug? And have you ever been that much in love that you felt like you were high in a utopia? Rita Dozer.
Say we put Rita's comment up.
She didn't make a comment.
Oh,
It's
I was
just
just calling them out.
just so Rita Dozer is watching.
So one example I have of love sort of feeling like a drug, that high is I knew I was in love when I'd be walking down the street, going about my day, and I would just start smiling for no good reason. No good fucking reason to smile. But I thought of that person, or I thought of what they might say or something they have said. And that's it. It put a smile on my face, or even made me laugh out loud. And not just being in love, but like romantic love, but like you can feel that with your kids. You can feel that with your friends. When you love somebody, it's almost like you can bring them present into that moment, even if they're not there at the minute. So I guess in that way, I mean, would that be the equivalent of shooting up? I don't know.
Just little bumps of love. I don't know. Yeah, it's if you're walking around with a lot of love in your heart, it feels good, right? That's always a plus to everything. And you can feel that type of love off of a lot of different things. I mean, it's an overwhelming feeling. You can let it overwhelm you in a positive way. Love drunk, there's that term, right? It kind of applies to what we're talking about. Oh, the floor is mine. Everyone's disappeared. I disappear all the time.
I'm still here.
Okay. I was about to ask the listeners all kinds of things. I want them to tune in. I want to hear your examples of love. Maybe add to what we're saying. But it's okay if you don't. We still love you.
Well, that makes me high.
I know. You can walk around singing and dancing, and people, it's happened before where people will misconstrue that. You can just be incredibly happy. I dance a lot. If you see me at a function or event or anything, I'm dancing. Is it because I have horrible ADHD, or is it because I have a lot of love in me? Maybe it's a combination.
I
Or
want to
maybe you
know.
love dancing, because like I love dancing too. I'm always moving.
I
If
want to
there's
know
a
how
stomp in a
come
foot.
people will make a comment about you being uncontrollably happy, but they won't make a comment about you being uncontrollably depressed.
Oh, I think they make comments about that too, but I think that people like to avoid people who like they like to look away. People like to look away from people that are that are hurting, and it just ends up hurting people more. um it doesn't feel good to know that it hurts people to look at you. That is a whole other layer of daggers, you know.
I love people that walk around the world thinking they are God's gift to everybody. I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for having that much self-esteem. I'm not mad at them for being that delusional. I'm not mad at them for really loving themselves that much that they believe that that's true.
Oh, heck. I think that things are so overwhelmingly expensive and depressing and kind of gray right now that I think they've beaten out. I like to say the cup of sugar days where you used to be like, hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor or whatever? Just feels like those days are long gone now, and everyone's kind of really closed off to begin with. I think the phone culture is wild. I know I'm on my phone right now, and I didn't say I like it, but it is a time of very closed off people, and I don't think that helps to get the free floating fucking depression and everything going around solved. There's a lot of isolation. Or maybe I'm just missing it and I'm an isolated part of the
No,
area.
there is. I think it's intended that way, though. They
Yeah.
don't want us. They don't want us together. They don't want us together.
Well, and I mean I will say that like we haven't always had the phone culture and technology culture that we have now. And I have always sort of been somebody who recognizes or notices people when they're sort of ostracized for whatever reason, either by society or by the groups at school or by the groups at work, you know. And I've always gravitated towards people that looked like they were kind of standing alone, or that people tend not to want to look at for one reason or another. Because I know that feeling, and that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite places to place my love, to be honest, is on people that others tend to either look away from or judge so harshly that they never get to know who they are beyond whatever label they've placed on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Listeners at home, and how about everyone on the panel? Do you feel like you attract unconventional people? This is your
Yeah.
particular love.
Hmm.
What's that, Kimberly?
Yes.
Yes, I do as well.
I think I am the unconventional person, even with unconventional people.
I agree
Maybe
with that
that's
one
just
too.
the season. Maybe that's just the season of life I'm in, that I feel kind of like a weirdo.
I am too. Don't worry.
In every setting. Um, but I do tend to. I don't know if I attract unconventional people or if I'm attracted to unconventional people. I think I'd say I maybe it's a little bit of both, but I tend to be attracted to unconventional people. And I don't know if it swings the other way.
So we got a lot of things that are amazing happening with us in the Twisted team. It's going to be a beautiful year for us.
Yes.
Let's drop off some jewels real quick. How do you want to end this, Henry? What is something beautiful and amazing?
Something beautiful and amazing.
Marie Nash, thank you for tuning in.
What's something beautiful and amazing? I don't know.
Besides you.
Stop it. You. Love is a really powerful emotion, and it helps to be in control of that emotion of yourself. But when it's put into play the right way, there's so much you can say. I don't know. It's incredibly beneficial. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I just enjoyed the podcast tonight. I'm filled with love. Everything in my life, I want to be a labor of love, and everything has been. And I don't think you can actually go wrong with that. So I'll just leave it at that.
I agree. Gilly, give us some jewels.
Some jewels. Let's see. Because I've been struggling with this one recently. So I think that we've become so independent minded in society. This whole idea that you got to do it yourself. You got to stand on your own 2 feet. Nobody's going to be there. Nobody's going to do it for you. We got to do it on our own. And I wish we just get more tribal again with it. Because the reality is you don't see people who still live tribally in general with all of these mental health issues or substance issues. And if they do, they don't go through them alone. And I think that hyper independence is also a trauma response, and our society might be in a current state of trauma.
All right.
So this is the rhino. I gotta get it back though. That's why I'm getting barked at.
Aww.
I do like it.
He knows he's an elephant, y'all. Don't get him twisted.
I love elephants.
He's a rhino. Don't tell him anything different. Tell him he wants to be, and he's a rhino. And the dog.
I wouldn't be talking about either one if I said it was a packaging.
The dog loves him for just the way he is.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That duck looking
elephant. How the hell did you tie that in? That's amazing. We absolutely weren't talking about this before the podcast. And you know what? Instead of saying something live, I absolutely didn't badger you for an hour after the last podcast about everything you were doing in your life because I love you. So, whatever.
And I appreciate it. Thank you. And you know what the sad thing is after our last podcast, why did Henry say, "What are you on, babes?"
That scared me.
And I said, what am I on? I'm not on anything, Henry. I said, the
yeah.
signal is shitty. I'm not on nothing. I am happy for once in my whole entire life. This person come into my life and shut down all the noise. Brought me peace and filled the void. Showered me with unconditional love, and I will never be alone ever again. On purpose.
And you know I didn't want to upset you with that. It's just, that's what we do on Unseen Twisted Truths. We support each other.
I'm happy. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. I'm so happy that I wanted to get Gucci something. And that's why I got him that pachyderm. And it only costs $16 and some change. So it's like $18 at Menards. And it's dog proof. Like he can't eat this. He went through 2 shoes. What are them shoes that people get all the time with the little holes in them? Those plastic Crocs. He went through 2 of those.
Wow.
Yeah, real quick. And he goes through toys. So I wanted to give him something, and it has a squeaky toy, only he can find it. And I wanted him to have something that he enjoyed his own, because he's a good old boy. And he's been through some years with me, 4 years strong.
He's such a boy.
Good old boy. But anyway, so I want to wrap this up. May everybody's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. Love. It is the freest drug out here. Go get you some. But it should start with self. I'm just saying. Because it's kind of wasted if you don't do it the right way, for the right reasons, for the right person. Don't waste your love. Give it to you. Because you're worth it. May everyone's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you for letting us be your podcast.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you. But with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so